I'm not going to even attempt that. Jean Nadel, currently appearing in Las Vegas. Well, I'm sitting in a piece of magical memorabilia from my collection, one of my favorite pieces. I've got a few, but this is very special indeed. To you, it might look like an old oaky chair, but this is a bit of a clue. This was the president's chair from the Magician's Club that was run by Will Goldston, and the initials are the clue. It belonged to Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini, the great escapologist, escape artist, whatever title you want to give him, went into the dictionary in America. To Houdinize means to get out of a difficult situation. Now, the spiritualists of the time believed he could dematerialize and reform his body someplace else. That was the only way they thought he could get out of whatever confinement he was placed in. They couldn't see any other way at all. Harry argued with that. But if he saw what we're going to try to do tonight, maybe dematerialization is the only answer, because this has got to be the most impossible escape, well, certainly that I've ever attempted. Over here, I've got a gentleman I'll introduce you to in a second, who has been examining this large metal box. Would you come a bit closer, my friend, and just tell the world your name?
John Sheldon.
John, and you're from the Institute of Welders.
The Welding Institute.
Oh, the Welding Institutes, yes. If you saw the start of the show, and I know you're out there, you'll have noticed I was a bit nervous about this, and I am, because I'm claustrophobic. And to a claustrophobic, this is the worst thing you could possibly get. This is a solid metal lining for something you're about to see in a little while. You've examined this, haven't you?
I have indeed.
It's metal, it's black steel, I think they call it, and you've examined all the welds, and it's solid.
Absolutely.
Absolutely solid. Go around the side a second or two, because there's a part you mightn't have got to see. Gentlemen, would you just tip this back for John to examine? There's a funny thing when they were marking it up to weld it and all that. I noticed they put a scoring line along there. John, that doesn't come apart at all. It's just a, you know, it's a mark on the metal, yeah?
Absolutely.
Make sure the bottom is solid, and check any weld you like. Yeah? Now, obviously, you're an expert in such matters. You'll have noticed there's a rubber seal around the top. Thank you, gentlemen. And you're happy that that's a solid metal box.
I am.
Yeah. Would you come over here a second? You'll have had a look at this as well. This is another metal sheet, slightly larger than that, and it's got bolt holes all the way down. But there can't be anything odd about that. That's a single metal sheet. Yeah?
It is.
Okay. I know you've had a look at a few of the other pieces, John. I'd just like to thank you for being an expert witness on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, John Sheldon. Expert witness number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Your name, sir?
Charles Hallett.
Charles Hallett. You've been examining this together with John, I know.
I have.
And you're happy that all the studs that stick up here and the nuts that go on them, there's nothing funny about them. You're happy that nothing slides or moves or... And in fact, it is as simple a wooden box as we could make. We used solid, full-size sheets. Even the bottom is one piece of timber. And you've been in it, around it. The only thing I don't think you can have seen yet, because I don't know that anybody will have lifted it up for you, was the bottom. Before we show you that, I'm just going to do something, because there's a problem with this kind of escape. Once this lid is fastened down onto that rubber seal, it makes it an absolutely airtight box. And that means the moment the lid goes on, I start to use up the air that's contained within the box. Now, this is one of those days when I just wish I was even smaller than I am, so that I wouldn't take up so much of the airspace. Right. Also, it tends to just belly in a bit. As you can see, it's bellied that way. It bellies in. Again, more air goes out. But this is solid. Come round the front. Gentlemen, would you tip this back so John can see, Charles can see this as well? Tip it up. You can see screwed through one piece of timber right across the bottom and screwed all the way through. Happy?
Very solid, yeah.
Very solid indeed. And of course it sits on those trestles raised from the floor, and the cabinet at the back has raised curtains so you can see right under it all the time. Nobody can get in, nobody can get out. This is the lid. And again, I know that you've examined not only the staples on there, but the hasps on here. They don't move, they don't come off. This is a bit heavy. There you go. And these little holes here seal the nuts down onto the top of here so nobody can get out them, even from the outside.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
So, the other thing we asked you to bring along was some of the locks from your company. And what we've got there, now, I know what we asked you to do, so just confirm it. We asked you to bring factory fresh locks. We asked you to make sure on arrival that nobody took them from you, that if you put them down, you kept your eye on them at all time. We've not got at them, and maybe you've marked them in some way that you would recognize them. The only thing we did do was to ask you to color code them, the keys and the locks, in case it went wrong. Then you've got a chance to get me out that little bit quicker.
Right. Well, we've got all that done in there, and nobody's been near them except me.
Good. What I'd like you to do is what I did with the nuts now, is put them around the hasp so that when the time comes, you can move efficiently and lock them in quickly, because I'll be, again, as I say, running out of air. While you're doing that, I know this is a real odd-looking device, but it was something we wanted to show you, the air running out. And it's very simple. When this valve is turned here, it's been modified with a little hole in the top, and that lets air out at the rate I'll be using it up. Some genius has devised this. It's full of liquid. I don't know how far round it's pushed, but what happens is as the lid goes on, Debbie will open this, and you'll have a visual of how much air I've got left. The valve in the top relates to my usage of the air in there. It's all very scientifically worked out. It's just that I still don't like it. So, there are no keys with these. Now, you've kept the keys. Oh, you colour-coded them with ribbon.
Yes, so they're all red with red.
Yeah,
and so on.
they're good. Well now, John, put the box down on the front of the stage so you can get at it quickly should you need to. Good. And now, when that lid goes on, all I ask you to do is get them in as quickly as possible.
Right.
You'll find that coming forward, so I hope there's not a crash, because I need every bit of time I've got available. So, now gentlemen, would you put the lining in? Metal lining, same size as the box, and if you just come round here, Charles, you'll see something. When it's in, the seal is just proud of the timber, so what I say is true, yeah?
Right.
When that gets tightened down, that seals that up.
Right.
Happy?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not.
I'm sure you're
All
not.
right. I'm not happy at all, but still. We'll put this away for now. Thank you, Debbie. And, right. So the boys are going to go to work. Don't forget, your job, Charles, is the locks.